This is Chapter 43 of Solo Leveling, Ragnarok. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. As we saw in the last chapter, Suho was suddenly teleported through a portal to an unknown location. In today's chapter, we see an apostle arriving at the spot where Suho disappeared. He scans the area carefully and notices Lee Min-sung's lifeless body lying on the ground. Looking around, the apostle mutters to himself, "I can't detect any magic power in the surroundings. I can't believe a gate suddenly appeared and took away the black mask and his soldiers." However, he didn't bring Lee Min-sung along with him. He narrows his eyes as realization dawns upon him. That must mean the gate that was open could only be used by him and his teammates. He clenches his fist. Darkness and the black mask. Every time we fight them, something unexpected happens. A smirk forms on his face. This is getting interesting. The scene shifts to a mysterious dungeon where Suho is seen lying on his side. Slowly, he lifts himself up and checks his body. "After I came here, the hole in my stomach has completely healed. I don't think there's anything wrong with my body right now." As he stands up, stretching slightly, he murmurs, "If there's a problem, it would be." Suddenly, a system window appears before him. The heirs of other monarchs cannot participate in the advancement quest. You cannot use the Shadow Dungeon key. Suho frowns, staring at the message. "I can't use my bond skills, or the key that opens up the Shadow Dungeon?" Looking around, he mutters, "In this place, this is the dungeon where I did my tutorial." His mind is suddenly flooded with memories of the past. He clenches his fists. "The dungeon my father created for me. Even though the me who grew in that place has disappeared, my memories from back then remain." As the memories fade, he surveys the dungeon carefully. "However, there aren't any knights that I can defeat to level up, and I haven't been given any weapons." He sighs in frustration. This just had to happen when Vulcan's horn was destroyed. He continues to analyze his situation. "I don't know why, but there aren't any quest details either." His gaze shifts to the dimly lit corridors ahead. "If I have to open a door and climb the tower like back then, does that mean I have to clear everything without any weapons or bond skills?" A sense of unease creeps over him. Was this place always filled with so many passageways, like a labyrinth? Suddenly, he hears distant noises echoing from various directions. His eyes narrow. Something feels similar yet different about this place. As Suho moves forward, he notices a blue light flickering in the distance. Then, his eyes fall on a massive door standing ominously in the middle of the corridor. He raises an eyebrow. The path continues ahead, but there's a boss room in the middle of nowhere? Scoffing, he mutters, "Was the advancement quest half-heartedly made or something?" Taking a deep breath, he places his hand on the door. "Who?" "I'm looking forward to what's behind the door. Once the advancement quest is over, will I be able to become stronger like I did back then?" His mind flashes back to his first encounter in this dungeon. "The first thing I met in the dungeon was the knight. As the door creaks open, darkness engulfs the room. Suho steps inside cautiously. It's dark. I can't see clearly. But then, he notices someone sitting on a throne-like seat ahead. His breath catches in his throat as the figure slowly stands up. The moment their face becomes visible, Suho's eyes widen in shock. "Huh." His voice trembles. "That's me from the past?" As Suho steps into the boss room, his eyes widen in shock. "The person I'm supposed to fight is myself?" His gaze locks onto a figure standing before him. It's Suho from the past. The me from back then. He was able to defeat even Baru at full strength. His mind flashes back to the battle where he overpowered Baru, one of the strongest shadows. The realization hits him hard. He defeated that Baru. The past Suho takes a stance, his aura surging. A sudden gust of wind shakes the entire room, causing everything to crumble. Suho, still unprepared, tries to speak. "Wait." But before he can finish his sentence, the past Suho lunges forward without hesitation. A flash of power erupts. Suho barely has time to react. In an instant, his entire body is disintegrated. His eyes widen in shock as he realizes, I didn't even stand a chance." The overwhelming power of his past self is undeniable. Suddenly, one of the three blue lights in the room flickers and dies out. Suho's vision returns, and he gasps, finding himself alive again. This place. Do I respawn if I die?" Sweat drips down his face as he tries to process what just happened. Why did I find another me in the boss room? His breathing is heavy as he pieces the situation together. Could it be that the advancement quest is to defeat myself from back then? Is that even possible? Clenching his fists, he forces himself to think. No. I was told that the system exists for me to become stronger. If I'm supposed to defeat whoever is behind the door, then that means there must be a way to do it. His eyes scan the surroundings. Unlike the tutorial dungeon, this one has many passageways. Seeing how that boss room was in such a strange location, I'm certain there's another door elsewhere. Determined, he starts moving deeper into the dungeon. After wandering through the corridors, Suho's instincts prove correct. He stops in his tracks, staring ahead. I knew it. There's another boss room door. But a sudden thought makes him pause. Wait, what's inside this boss room? Shaking his head, he takes a deep breath. No matter what appears, it'll probably be better than facing the me from back then. With that, he pushes the door open. Inside the room, toys are scattered across the ground. In the middle of the room, a young Suho is sitting and playing. His small hands glow faintly as he levitates the toys in the air, using his authority. Suho freezes in shock. Huh, that's me, when I was young. His mind races. What on earth is going on in this dungeon? Am I supposed to fight my child self? Even though it's him, something about fighting a child feels wrong. But before Suho can process further, the young Suho lifts more toys into the air. Then, the pressure hits him. Suho's body suddenly locks up. He can't move. His eyes widen in horror. I can't move. Is that the ruler's authority? The young Suho points a single finger towards him. Then, with a simple flick of his finger, Suho's vision blurs. His body is crushed instantly. His neck snaps. Darkness. Suho gasps as he comes back to life again, sitting up in shock. Did my child self just snap my neck in an instant and kill me? He grits his teeth, his breathing heavy. Neither of them are opponents I can defeat right now. How am I supposed to clear a quest like this? Then, a sudden realization strikes him. Wait, hold on. His gaze shifts to the 3 blue lights in the room. But something is different. Instead of just 3 lights, he now sees many, almost infinite blue lights flickering before him. His eyes widen in shock. What on earth? Before he can make sense of it, a system notification pops up. Substance from another world. Due to interference, an error has occurred in the system. New notification. Please defeat the being behind the door with the remaining life you have been given. Being behind the door, 0/1. New notification. Until your advancement is complete, you cannot leave the dungeon. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next chapter. Until then, enjoy.